Hi, hi everyone. Welcome back to another episode of A to Z of Consciousness. Today we have reached the letter I, and today's topic is interesting point of view. So I am happy to see all of you here, and while I open up my notes for today, I welcome you all to another episode. I am Anchal Bedi, a certified theta healer, an access consciousness practitioner, and an overexcited person to meet all of you always. Happy to have you. Today we are talking about interesting point of view. So, if any of you want to watch any of the previous episodes of A to Z of Consciousness, there's everything saved on the IGTV section. You can go back, have a look. We have spoken about awareness, being in body, contribution, distracted implants, E for ease, F for financial awareness. Then came gaslighting, and the last episode was hedonism. Today we are at I and we're talking about interesting point of view. So what is an interesting point of view? What is the meaning of this term? What is interesting point of view? Never heard of something like that, haven't we? So before I explain this term to you, I want to explain to you what the hell is a point of view. A point of view, as we all know, is a belief, it's an opinion, it's an attitude, it's the way with which we look at the world, it's our perspective towards this reality. Pretty much it's like the lens of a sunglass, of sunglasses that we wear with which we look into the reality. And to explain that, I posted some stories today in which I was trying to describe the concept of a point of view to you. That if you wear sunglasses with a red tinted lens, everything will appear red. If you wear sunglasses with a blue tinted lens, everything will appear blue. And similarly, you've got the hang of it, right? So it's something like that. But just because we wear a certain color lens, does the reality also be that? No, the reality is absolutely colorful, but we get to see it depending upon the point of view that we hold, depending upon the lens that we have worn for that particular thing in life. So why is the point of view topic, why is this discussion on points of view so important? Because our point of view creates our reality. Whatever point of view we hold will actually govern the reality that we live in. Everything that we believe, all the points of view that we hold, will create our reality according to the points of view that we have. And I will be explaining all of that in detail with lots and lots of examples, and also telling you how to get out of rigid points of view and what is the drawback of having a rigid point of view in life. I think one of the most common examples of having a point of view is that glass example, the glass half empty, half full. So, an optimistic person may say, wow, this is a glass half full, and a pessimist may say, this is a glass half empty. That is the most common example. We have all known, we have literally grown up with that example, heard about it in school. So, today I will be talking about much more in detail in regards to the points of view that we have with our body, with our reality, with finances, with relationships, with so many other things that are such important aspects of our life. So, like I said, our point of view creates our reality. What I believe in today will show up in my reality in some way or the other tomorrow. And a lot of people believe the opposite to be true. A lot of people believe that no, my point of view does not create my reality. My reality is a certain way. My experiences, my situations, the incidents that have happened with me have turned me to, turned to make me believe certain things. My situations have created my point of view. A lot of people are living with that misconception, and I'm going to clear that today. Now, say for example, a person invests in the stock market and they have major losses, they suffer losses, they lose all the money that they invested. Now later on, if you ever talk to them about the stock market, they'd be like, no, don't invest, I've had a horrible experience, I invested some money and I ended up wasting the entire bundle of cash that I had invested. It's the biggest gamble, never do it, you're putting your money to risk. And people will say that I've experienced it, I'm talking out of experience, I've had my first hand experience in losing money, please buy my point of view and don't invest in the stock market. Now, a lot of people believe that because I invested in the stock market and I failed, I lost all my money. Now I have a point of view that the stock market is not a good gamble. However, it's actually the other way around, because somewhere subconsciously you believed that stock market doesn't fetch anybody profits, and it's only one in a million who actually end up making money in the stock business. So because of that particular belief, when you ended up investing in the stocks, you lost your money. That is the truth, and everywhere you're not willing to acknowledge that truth, everywhere you're not willing to accept that truth and live in denial of that truth. Can we please now destroy and uncreate that? Thanks. Times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine shots, boys and beyonds. So there are so many points of view that we have that we don't even know about. And if everything is dependent on a point of view, if everything is governed, our reality is governed by our point of view, what to really do about it? Is it possible for us to actually be aware of all of our points of view? Actually, no, because our subconscious mind is 90% of who we be. Our conscious self, the things that we are aware about ourselves, the points of view that we are aware of about us are just 10%. That's just our conscious mind. The rest, the greatest chunk of our beliefs, of our points of view, are all locked up, hidden, living happily in an unacknowledged zone. That is a subconscious bit. And till, I mean, it's not really possible for all of us to constantly be in that meditative state and connect to ourselves and learn about more of our beliefs. That's not possible. It's not possible to do it at all times. Although I do feel quite blessed, I have lots of gratitude for the fact that I am a theta healer. I am into the study of consciousness, and I get to get a glimpse of my subconscious. I get to get a glimpse of whatever it is that I believe in so many areas of my life, my financial points of views, my points of view about my relationships, about my body, about so many other things in life. So obviously when you enter any kind of spiritual work or any work that allows you to connect with you and evolve, you will learn about these subconscious beliefs. How about, what about the others? There are like a billion views that we have that we don't even know of. What to really do about that? Now, the only way out is to not make any of these points of view rigid, stuck, locked up, and just fixated in a particular place. And why we talk about the study of, why do we talk about points of view today in the study of access consciousness, in the talk of A to Z of consciousness? Because consciousness is not a space of rigidities. Consciousness is not a space to stay stuck, to hold yourself in one place, never go forward, never go backward, always be the one identity that you be. That is not what consciousness is about. Consciousness is about change. Consciousness is about being your most versatile self. Consciousness is about fluidity, about movement, about just being this wavelength of change at all times. That's what consciousness is. And to be able to change in life, to be able to actually see changes happening around you, the first thing that you need to do is to change your point of view. If your point of view stays stuck, if your point of view about money stays stuck, your money reality will never change. You will never be able to make more money than you are making today. If your point of view about relationships, if they don't change, your relationship issues will never change. They will always remain stuck. You will always have matters of relationships that have to be resolved. You'll never have ease if you don't choose to change. So how to do that change, how to be that change, and how to create that change is exactly what I'm going to talk about today. A lot of people ask me, when we're talking about changing our points of view, the first hesitation that people have is, oh, I don't want to change my points of view because I have some really good points of view that are working out really well for me, and I believe in my principles, I believe in my values, and I believe in what I think, and I have gained so much of an experience living so many years with so many incidents and situations happening. My beliefs, my points of view, they make me who I am. They give me my identity. So don't you dare tell me to change my points of view. I am very rigid with what I believe. And a lot of people have that kind of a judgment that I don't want to change anything about my points of view because I'm pretty awesome the way I think, the way I believe, and I am the right one. Now, let me give you a couple of examples of good points of view, okay? Like good points of view. So, the first good point of view that you can have is, oh, it's very important to exercise 4 times a week. When I exercise 4 times a week, my body stays fit, I feel good about myself, I'm always feeling healthy, and I have so much of energy. Now, that's a good point of view, right? I mean, I'm sure you'd all agree that exercising 4 times a week is a great point of view to have. It will always keep you going, it will never let you be lazy. Now, if the same person, if he wants to continue to believe that 4 times a week I must work out to be healthy, then in order to maintain that point of view, he will have to also somewhere believe that exercising just twice a week is less. Exercising twice a week is rather not good enough for my body, not as good enough as exercising 4 times a week. And when the same person starts exercising twice a week, only twice a week, then he starts feeling lazy, or his body weight starts to fluctuate, and things, the body doesn't appear as good and the body doesn't feel as good. Why is that? Because you have a point of view that exercising 4 times a week is important, is imperative for me to maintain my good health. And coming down from 4 to 2 will make me a lazy person, or will give ill effects to my body. That is the value of having a point of view. A point of view may be good, a point of view may be bad, but a point of view is always a limitation. If you stick to it, it is always a limitation. Now, similarly, a lot of people, I think most of us, the majority of this reality has this point of view that in order to be something in life, in order to become successful and make your mark in this reality, in this world, you've got to be serious. You've got to take your life seriously. You can't be fooling around with your situations. You've got to take matters in hand, and you always have to pull up your socks and be on your toes. So basically, this entire concept of being successful in life is connected to this area of seriousness, of always being so serious and taking matters in hand and always being present with yourself and never taking things lightly. And that's a good point of view to have, right? Don't we teach our kids, don't all parents teach kids to always have that point of view that, okay, please just work hard, and in order to work hard, you must stay serious in life. Now, if the same person, because of this point of view, if they start taking a break in life, if they've, for example, taken a break today, first of all, they'll feel guilty. They'll feel guilty for taking a break, because taking a break and being a little fun and being less serious is connected to being less successful. Do you realize that is how our subconscious mind works in a very dangerous way? And taking a break, taking too many breaks too often may actually lead to your failure, because you've had a point of view that for success, I've got to be serious. And do you see how things work? And it's so freaky. And how do I get to know of all of this? Because I'm constantly working with myself. I am constantly in that zone of connecting with me and knowing more and more and more about me. I think I am my biggest project, and I love working on me. And I would always do that. I don't see that as a job, and I don't see that as the energy of fixing myself because I see myself as wrong. But I know that if I have a point of view today, I could have another point of view tomorrow, and I'm allowed to change. I'm allowed to change myself, and I'm allowed to change myself every 10 seconds, if that's what's required for me to be happy, for me to be successful, for me to have ease, and for me to have joy, and for me to have a reality that is constantly changing into something greater every day. So, all of the points of view, you may say that they are good or bad, but there is no point of view that could be still great enough for you to stick around with. Never stick around with a point of view. You've got to be, like I said, you've got to be that crazy, fluid self to break away all of the molds in which you have held those points of view that don't allow you to be shape shifters. We are allowed to be shape shifters. We are allowed to change. And that's exactly what consciousness is all about. Creating a new reality every moment of your life. Creating a reality of more ease, of more possibilities, of more joy, of more fun, of more money, of greater health, of more joyful relationships every moment. And one of the only ways to do that is to make your points of view a little fluid, not so stringent, not so strict, not stuck in places. Now, a lot of people, now another thing that I'm always questioned with is, Anshul, if our point of view creates our reality and our reality doesn't create our point of view, then what created my point of view in the first place? If none of my experiences, if none of my situations, if none of my experiences have created this point of view, where did my point of view come in place? Where did I buy it from? Where did I get it from? Was I born with it? Now, being a theta healer, I have understood some things, that we are born with some points of view. We are carrying the baggage of some points of view from our past lives. And the other two areas where we create our points of view is, number one, childhood programming. How our parents program us to believe, how our teachers, how our guardians, all the people who we grow up with, however they condition us and program us, we start believing in that somewhere. That's why doctors say, that's why scientifically it is proven that a child's brain development happens the most from age 0 to 5. In fact, being a theta healer, we have this process called sending love and light to the baby in the womb. And can you believe it? We start learning points of view from our mothers when we are in the womb. We are unborn, but our subconscious is so active, and we're constantly absorbing everything that is going on in our surroundings. Now it will make sense when people tell pregnant women, please think good thoughts, be happy, don't watch something terrorizing on the TV, just stay happy, stay positive, and be joyful, eat what you like to eat. This is the reason, because they want the mother to always have constant feel good energies, and they believe only that will go to the child. But we've got to also acknowledge that a mother, a pregnant woman, is holding some subconscious beliefs which she is already embedding onto her child very, very firmly. That is called genetic conditioning, rather. But coming back to the other thing, which is childhood conditioning. So there is a concept of your parents teaching you about certain values in life, and every parent does that. It's the job of a parent to bring up the greatest possible child with the greatest capacities to deal with the future, to deal with their experiences in life. So how do parents condition us? They condition us from their experiences. Now, same example that I gave you in the beginning of this talk, that if you one person who invested in the stock market, he ended up losing all his money. Now that same person, for example, is your father. Will your father ever tell you to go out there and invest crores of rupees in the stock market? He won't. He will talk out of his experience. He will say, son, never ever do that, never invest money, and if you want to invest money, be sure that you will lose all of that, so invest small, don't invest in risky stocks, blah blah. The story goes on. That is conditioning. And when we are conditioned in that way, we're constantly being conditioned by our parents, by our teachers, from the experiences they have. And that is one of the great things about conditioning, that it is always happening to us. And from 0 to 5, whatever you feed in your kid, it remains, it stays there. The second place where we can get our conditioning from is programming. The second place where we get our points of view from is programming. What is the meaning of programming? Now let me put another example over there. Have you all noticed that more than ever before, there are so many plant-based milks coming up in the market? Oat milk, almond milk, coconut milk, walnut milk, God knows what all. Okay? And because of this entire new concept of veganism, more and more people are choosing to be vegan, letting go of milk products, letting go of animal products. There is this new buzz in the media, in the market, that milk, cow milk, animal milk is not good for your gut health. And if you consume animal milk, you are destroying the entire gut system of your body, and you will get PCOD. I mean, for women, that's the one thing that is instantly said. You'll get PCOD, you'll have digestion issues, and so much of other stuff is being said around that. Now, with this new media information, do you believe, have you seen that more than ever before, people have become lactose intolerant? Is there anybody on the talk right now who's lactose intolerant? That is the thing with media. When something that wasn't even a truth, something that was not in our information, was never a point of view. Now suddenly we all have this point of view that no, I'm going to Starbucks, but I'm going to have almond milk. And any cake recipe nowadays, actually I've noticed, you Google anything online for cakes or anything which is with dairy, they will give you a replacement, they will give you an option to make the same with almond milk or cashew butter or almond butter, because there is this new programming, this new concept of adopting plant based milk and not going for anything which is dairy because it's bad for your health. And like I said, 1 in 10 people rather are lactose intolerant now. That is the concept of programming. Your programming created this point of view that milk is bad, and that point of view got so embedded in you that you actually started to become lactose intolerant. And can you believe this? I want to give my own example here. So throughout my pregnancy, I had this point of view that milk is bad, and I was holding some severe, strict points of view against milk. Although I love having milk, but I had this point of view that no, I'm pregnant, I must eat the right things for my body, for my baby, and milk is not one of the good things to have because all of the media influence that we have in this world now. So I stopped having milk in my pregnancy, and every time I would have it, I would get a bad stomach. You see, the point of view was so strongly held in place. And when my child was born, she was born with a dairy allergy. Now that was freaky. And when, I mean, for the longest time, I did not even realize that how is it that a baby is born with dairy allergy? How can a baby be dairy allergic? Is that even possible? So now that my baby is 2.5 years old, she is doing good. She's not dairy allergic anymore. She loves to have milk, and her favorite thing is paneer. So thanks to all of this new concept of interesting point of view, that I could actually shift my point of view and shift all of the childhood programming and conditioning I had done for my child. And this is just one of the things that came to my notice. Now, can you imagine? It's like a tsunami of points of view that we have that we're not even aware of. So, what to really do about it? Is it possible for us to be without points of view? No, it's not possible. The other thing that's possible is to turn these points of view around, to have them like soft clay, like play-doh, and turn them around, keep shifting them, keep changing them. When you do that, your reality changes. Now, a lot of times when you make this point of view rigid, it becomes a limitation. Why it becomes a limitation? Because any rigid point of view starts kind of attaching a label onto your reality, attaching a label onto your identity rather. Okay, you start identifying with that point of view. For example, that if I make too much money, then I don't want too much money, because money is the root of all evil. And if I get too much money, my family will start to break apart. We will all become too nasty. We'll all become too greedy, and we will start valuing money over family ties and family bonds. So, no, I don't want too much money because money is the root of all evil. So, that person, because of this point of view, and I can't even begin to tell you how many people, when we're working with people, when we're working on their subconscious through theta healing, how many people have this hidden subconscious point of view that money is the root of all evil. You will not even believe how many people have it. Literally every second person has this point of view which they don't want to believe, because they are constantly asking for money. They're like, I'm asking for money, I'm manifesting lots of money from the universe. Why doesn't it ever show up? My friend, because you have a point of view that money is the root of all evil. So universe will never want you to be evil. It will always want you to be the kind person that you are and never send you money. And even if the universe sends you money, you will automatically become your most evil self. And then your point of view that was that money is the root of all evil will get reinstated in you. It will become all the more stronger, and you will say, see, I told you money is the root of all evil. Yes, because that was your point of view. Your point of view will actualize in your reality one way or the other. And that is the entire concept of point of view creating your reality. Your reality is not creating your point of view. So again, I want to now get back to this entire concept of interesting point of view, and how can we make our points of view so fluid that our life keeps changing. First of all, I want you all to connect for a moment with all of those things in your life that are not changing. Your relationships that stay unhealthy, toxic, your financial situation that doesn't get better, the diseases that don't leave your body, or the weight, just the weight that you can't lose, or anything which is staying stuck in a place. Can you just share something with me if you would like to? Because we all have some points of view which are so strict and so stringent in their own places, so fixated, so strongly held up, that our reality in that space, in that area, doesn't change. Because your point of view did not change, your reality did not change. So is there anything that is showing up for anyone? Anyone wants to share a point of view that they have that has not changed for a long, long time, and now it's just showing up for you after hearing this entire conversation? Would you like to put it up over here? Because your point of view could be somebody else's point of view too. So it could add value to everyone. We could work around it. So while you do share a little bit about your points of view, I want to come back to the concept of using this tool of consciousness, which is called an interesting point of view. So Nazuk shares that I have a point of view that if I focus on my work, my family life will get disturbed. Now, can I ask you, Nazuk, have you picked up this point of view from your childhood conditioning or the recent programming? Has somebody implanted that point of view onto you? Always see, is this point of view implanted onto you? Every point of view that you have is actually an implant. You know what an implant is? You get the understanding of that word, right? Like how people get bodily implants, and it becomes a part of their body in such a way that it actually looks like a part of their body, but initially it was never a part of their body. It came artificially. It's like an artificial thing attached to your body, which starts looking so real. So every point of view is an implant. And Nazuk, I want you to say this a few times now. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view that if I focus on my career, my family life will get disturbed. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view that if I focus on my career, my entire family life would be disturbed. Make your point of view, which is so rigid, an interesting point of view. Okay, it's just an interesting point of view. I don't want to keep it as rigid. I'd rather just make an interesting point of view and go. And Nazuk says, yes, thank you for acknowledging that, Nazuk. She says it's implanted by my in-laws. Yes, because everybody implants their own personal points of view. You know, there are 7.8 billion people on the planet, right? 7.8 billion people, 7.8 billion points of view, 7.8 billion dictionaries. That is the number of points of view that we have. And it's not about dishonoring anybody's points of view, because every point of view is true for them. Everybody's point of view is true for them. Like some people have this belief that if I eat too much dessert, I'm gonna put on weight for sure. And another person may eat an entire tub of ice cream and still not put on weight, because he eats ice cream without a point of view. Like for me, I discovered that some time ago that okay, I'm a cheese freak. Okay, I love eating cheese, and although I'm a little careful about what I eat, what I don't eat, I also have points of view of food. So many of us have points of view of food. Please work on that and make all of your points of view of food an interesting point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view that fried food will give me acne. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view that eating peanuts will give me allergy. All of these points of view, even science, so many things about science are a point of view. Like sometimes science and researchers and scientists, they tell us, oh, have green tea, it's the greatest thing for your body. You'll lose weight, you'll feel so energetic, it'll be great for you. And another day we read this new theory that no, don't have green tea, it's not good for you. And have you seen in the media, there is so much of news about food. All of these lifestyle magazines, all of these new bloggers, they're talking about, okay, some days they say, please replace all of your refined oil and start having desi ghee. And the other researcher and the other scientist will say, no, don't have desi ghee, it's not good for you. And it'll give you cholesterol and you'll have heart issues later on. Even science is a point of view. So don't buy anybody's implants. See what is true and real for you. When you hear a point of view, somebody else says that my weight doesn't change no matter how much ever I work out. So how many points of view do you have about your body? How many points of view do you have about your capacity to lose weight? And everywhere you are implanting onto yourself and everywhere you have been implanted that तू कभी पतली नहीं हो सकती है, यू कैन नेवर लूज वेट बिकॉज तेरी फैमिली में सब ओवर वेट है, तो तू कैसे पतली हो जाएगी. All of those implants, can you please now destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shots, boys and beyonds. That, my friends, is called genetic conditioning. A lot of us believe that my parents, they have my father has diabetes, I will definitely have diabetes. It's a point of view. The doctors told me. Doctors, no offense to any doctor here, I honor you for the work that you do. I honor you. I honor everyone for the points of view that they have. But doctors are a great influence in having a point of view instated and implanted onto you. Okay, and obviously they're saying it for your good. And doctors have the greatest, most impeccable amount of knowledge. But always, before a point of view is thrown at you, get so habitual of using this tool of interesting point of view that you kind of don't buy it immediately. For example, someone may say that, Anchal, you're such a coward. You're always fearing things in life. And instead of buying that as real and true, okay, oh my God, I maybe am such a coward. I let all the good things go. I don't like thrill and adventure in my life. I'm such a bore. I'm such a coward. Instead of buying that immediately from someone else, instead of buying someone else's point of view as true, just say, interesting point of view, they have this point of view. Interesting point of view, they have this point of view. And keep saying that till the energy of that conversation, till the energy of that point of view starts to dissipate. It'll actually go away. And I'm not telling you, this is not just a matter of words. We're talking about energies here. And I use the tool of interesting point of view so many times in the day. Like, it is always at the back of my mind. Whatever I do, say, think, feel, I always add the point of view of interesting point of view. Like the other night, I was working till too late. I was working on some content. I was making some videos and I was doing my thing. So it was almost 2 o'clock at night and I was like, oh, I'm going to wake up so late tomorrow. I ruined my routine. I have no decent work hours. What the hell am I doing? And I started criticizing myself for not managing time better. And I said, okay, now tomorrow I'm definitely going to wake up with a headache because my child wakes up very early. So instead of dealing with that criticism for self and instead of buying into that point of view, I kept saying, okay, interesting point of view. I have this point of view that I'm a bad manager of time. I'm bad at time management and I'm going to wake up so tired the next morning. Just turn everything into an interesting point of view. And I woke up fresh like a flower the next morning. And that is exactly how it happens. That is the truth of you. Whatever you believe in will show up. Whatever the hell you believe in will show up in the most unimaginable ways, but it will show up according to that point of view. And you'd be like, oh my God, I told you this will happen with me. Yes, of course it would have happened with you because you have that point of view and you're willing to keep that point of view stuck and in place rather than making that an interesting point of view. And when somebody throws their opinion at you, okay, sorry, let me also read this. So somebody says that I think there's immense amount of body shaming done over me by my own family members. That kinds of put me off my trials of losing weight. Could that be the reason? Of course, that could be one of the most important, most valid reasons because it's shown up in your awareness right now. Whatever shows up in your awareness first is actually one of the greatest points of view. So you have already been implanted to believe that you are inferior for having the body type that you have and you are incapable of changing that body. And no matter how hard you try, this is what you are and you will never be able to lose weight and tera kuch nahi ho sakta. Okay, so if that is a point of view when somebody tells you that subtly over a long period of time, over and over again, that is also a form of gaslighting, my friend. I have to make you aware about that. Please be aware of what gaslighting is, and if you're not sure of that concept, there is another video on the page. If you, after this talk, you can go back and watch. I've spoken about what gaslighting is and how to overcome gaslighting. So look into that. So if this implantation has been happening over a period of time, you are being slightly gaslit. And when you are being gaslit, everything becomes stuck because you've already bought another person's point of view, which is not even true for you. So every time they say that there is all of the body shaming that they do for you. Just keep saying interesting point of view, you have this point of view, and you don't have to say this statement out loud. You can just say it to yourself. Like, you don't have to dishonor someone and they're telling you something, they're giving you their own gyan, and you'd be like, to hell with your point of view, interesting point of view, that you have that point of view, and I'm not going to buy that nonsense. Don't dishonor, because everybody, like I said, 7.8 people, 8 billion people, 7.8 billion points of view. Let them have their point of view. But you don't have to buy that point of view as true and real for you. You can simply step out of it by just verbally telling yourself that that's an interesting point of view and I would not like to believe into that, and I'd like to move on. I'd like to move on. And everything that stops you, that binds you, that if I don't take care of my child at all times, and if I don't watch my child like a hawk, my child will grow up to be a brat. That's an interesting point of view. Please shove that away. There are so many points of view that we have about money, that so many, surprisingly, so many women believe they have this point of view that they don't want to um, make more money than their spouse, than their husband, because they just don't want to. They want to be a little less or a little inferior. That's a point of view, because they have been implanted to be the second one in the relationship, and a woman's job is to always be less and never equal and definitely not more. So that is an interesting point of view. Everything that the patriarchal society teaches you, everything that the patriarchal society implants onto you, that is an interesting point of view. Everywhere where people tell you to shave your arms and legs and never to have any kind of hair on your body because you're a woman, that's an interesting point of view. And I'm so glad that the entire society is supporting women to have their own choices, to make their own decisions. And all of the strictness around these points of view is now kind of diminishing away into nothingness. And that is what the tool of interesting point of view does. And I would really want you guys to think of all of the things that you have a point of view of, regards to your relationships, regards to your financial reality, regards to actually anything and everything, regards to food, regards to your own body, your own personal health. Think of all of the points of view that you have about your body, and just keep turning everything into an interesting point of view. When you do that, your body starts to change, your reality starts to change, and everything that was staying stuck in a place and not moving and not going forward, just appearing to be, oh, this situation is never going to change, I'm never going to change, and this will never get better, that starts to move. Only when you start becoming a little fluid with your points of view, when you start actually shifting them away. And one of the greatest body processes of access consciousness, it's called access bars, is the greatest tools to turn out and to shove away and to release all of the rigid points of view. And I learned access bars like 7 years ago, and it's one of the most mind-blowing body processes that you can run on anyone. And because of the COVID restrictions right now, I am not being able to give that body process to anyone, but I am doing energetic work online. I am facilitating personal healing sessions using tools of access consciousness, using tools of theta healing, also giving symphony of possibilities sessions, me being a certified theta healer and an access consciousness practitioner. So anywhere in your life, if you feel that you are stuck at a certain point of view and things are not changing, I would love to be a contribution to all of you. You can send me a DM. We can book up a nice appointment and have a great life-changing experience. So is there any question that I could take up as we end this, or are we good to go? And if there's nothing showing up for you right now, because it's been an overwhelm of information, that I would catch you again next week with another letter. So we are at J, and let's see what I talk about. J, it's probably going to be judgments, getting out of judgments with ease, receiving judgments with ease. That's one of the most amazing things actually to learn, is to get out of judgment. And interesting point of view tool is the thing that gets you out of judgment of things. It gets you out of points of view. It gets you out of the rigidity. So try using that, and if something shifts for you using this tool, please let me know. I'd be happy to see that changes are happening. And thank you so much, guys, for always being amazing listeners. Thank you. See you guys. Bye.